Hi guys, Olive here today to tell you what books are on my December 2022 TBR. It is somehow the last month of the year. I don't know how that happened. This year absolutely flew by. I'm hoping to close out 2022 with some good reading. Maybe I could even find some last-minute gems that could make their way onto my year-end favorites list. We just got done celebrating Nonfiction November, which is a month during which I read exclusively nonfiction and I talk about exclusively nonfiction here on the channel, so I think it's about time we bring back some fiction. I've actually been really looking forward to picking up fiction again after a month-long spree of reading nonfiction. So I'm going to talk about the fiction books first. The first one that I would like to read in December is called Enchantress of Numbers by Jennifer Ciavarini. This is a work of historical fiction all about Ada Lovelace, who was the daughter of Lord Byron. She was also a brilliant mathematician. She worked on an early version of the computer, even though she lived during the Victorian era. I have always been so fascinated by her, and I love reading historical fiction during the cooler months. So I cannot wait to dive into this. And if you want to dive into the early parts of this book with me, if you want to hear my early thoughts on it, if you want to chat about it with me in the margins of the book itself, come join my circle over on the Threadable app. We'll be talking about this book and several others during the month of December. It's a ton of fun. I will put the link for that in the description box below. But the next fiction book I would like to read in December is another one that I pulled from my shelves. It's called The Hunger Trace by Edward Hogan. This book takes place in the aftermath of the death of a wildlife park owner, and we follow three different characters who are all trying to cope with that loss in their own way. And why I felt compelled to pick this book up in the first place, why it's been sitting on my shelves for a substantial period of time now, is that one of those three characters that we follow is a falconer. I will read just about anything if a bird of prey is involved, but I'm curious to see how I end up liking this. Next, I thought that a folklore-inspired fantasy book would fit the month of December rather nicely, so I've decided to pick up The Witch and the Tsar by Olesya Salnikova-Gilmore, which is a take on the legendary witch Baba Yaga. In this story, she's attempting to save her friend, the Tsaritsa, and all the Russian people from the wrath of Ivan the Terrible. This one is getting some mixed reviews, so I'm going in cautiously. But I am positively chomping at the bit to pick up Anon Please, which is a fictionalized account of the creation of the celebrity gossip Instagram page called Dumois, and it was written by its still unnamed creator and runner. We still don't know who runs Dumois, which makes it just 10 times more fun. Here at the end of the year, when things are starting to wind down, I definitely like to read some fiction that goes down easy, and that's why this one's on the menu. And on that note, the final fiction book that I would like to read during the month of December is a very Christmassy romance book called Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. This book stars a woman who owns a struggling Christmas tree farm who asks her best friend to pose as her boyfriend in order to hopefully win a social media contest. They really need that prize money. This sounds absolutely delightful. Admittedly, I am not always the biggest fan of Christmas. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, and I can sometimes grow resentful of how much Christmas encroaches on my favorite season of the year. But this year, I am feeling the Christmas spirit, so I decided that I definitely wanted to pick this up. But I can't go a whole month without reading at least some nonfiction, and since I've been loving nonfiction books about music lately for whatever reason, I decided to add 2 of those to my December TBR. The first one is called The Violin by David Schoenbaum, which is a social history of the stringed instrument. And the other one I would like to read is called Dangerous Rhythms by T.J. English, which discusses the intersection of jazz music and organized crime in the 20th century. Both of these sound so interesting, and I will definitely be reading both of them while I have some instrumental music playing in the background. But I just recently realized that I went through the entire month of November without picking up a single work of nature nonfiction. For any other reader, that might not be strange, but it's one of my favorite subgenres, and I normally do read at least some nature nonfiction during Nonfiction November. So it just felt very wrong to me. But then I remembered that I still had On Being a Bear by Remy Marion out from the library, so this went straight on to my December TBR. This author has over 30 years worth of experience observing bears, learning about bears. And in this book, he discusses the history of human interaction with these often misunderstood mammals. I cannot wait to learn more about bears. I'm going to be picking this one up very soon. And then finally, the last book on my December TBR is a memoir, which is another one of my favorite subgenres of nonfiction. This one is called All the Colors Came Out by Kate Fagan. This is the author's story of bonding with her father over basketball when she was just a child, but how the sport brought them together again during her adulthood after a long period of estrangement and after her father's ALS diagnosis. I think this one has the potential to tug on the heartstrings, but it also sounds like it's going to be just lovely to read. This is another one that we're going to sample over on my Threadable circle, so if you want to give this one a try and chat about it with me, I'll put that link for you, as I said, in the description box below. So that's what I've planned for the month of December, and I am definitely crossing my fingers that all of these turn out to be good, that I end up liking all of them, because I would really rather not start raging against books here at the end of the year. For me, the end of the year is a time for quiet reflection. It is not a time for high blood pressure, but I guess we'll see how it goes. All the books that I mentioned in today's video will be linked for you in the description box below for your clicking convenience. If you're on a mobile device, just tap the title of this video and that will expand for you. The link to my Threadable circle will be there, as I said, but also at the bottom of that description box, you'll see links to everywhere else you can find me around the internets, including Goodreads and Instagram, the two places where I'm the most active, in case you would like to keep up with what I am reading and writing about right now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.